Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. And we are going to play a conversation with Laurel, who is our main contact at the GFED, or Galactic FED eration. Also, she is on the Pleiadian High Council, and she is our number one contact when it comes to the
evolution of humans, and also kind of like the landscape, how things are going for people in general, just where we need to direct our energy if there needs to be assistance with extra energies to a certain purpose. She asks that of us, and she's just a very beautiful being that wants to help.
Yes, and we've worked with her in past lives as well, so we do have a history with her, and we want to share. Basically, I'm not gonna really even preface it, but I just would say that we'll elaborate on some of this stuff after we go through her message, which is about 14 minutes long. And again, this is all about benevolent beings that can't wait for us to openly join them up in the higher densities. And we have been there before, and we're going to be there again.
And we're the star seeds, and we're all going to do this together.
Yes. So we shall start. How are you? The volume will pick up shortly here. And again, this is a channeled session.
Yeah, well, we are watching your planet and your species evolve every day. You are evolving at faster and faster rates. This can be quite challenging for humans. This rate of evolution can cause quite a lot of confusion. This is why we always suggest you set aside time to slow down and meditate and absorb what you have learned. How many actually do this in this world you live in?
As a percentage of the population, I don't think too high. Not really too many. Perhaps it varies depending on the culture.
This is one of the keys to evolution, and they have cut it out, especially in the West, making it seem insignificant and unimportant when it's the top priority. You should make this your top priority every day, to slow down and integrate the evolutionary energies that are bringing light and new frequencies into your body and your soul. We do wish more people would take time for this. This would help your species get stronger to move and change timelines so that there is less suffrage during these very difficult times.
I think one of the biggest blocks is what we've talked about so much, is the Abrahamic traditions, and people are afraid. I still see comments saying things like meditation, yoga, and tarot are evil and of the devil every now and then. Not so much on our channel, but in other places. They've really shut down people's minds with this conditioning.
This is very disturbing what they have done to the human race, especially in the West and the bigger cities, taking away your ability to feel the heartbeat of the mother. The mother nourishes, the mother helps you grow, the mother heals you. How many cannot see how it has been severed? The mother energy has been severed from your life using these other traditions that they have placed before you in the West. We continue to ask ourselves, when will more of you understand? Why are you not helping others understand that their connection to the mother is most important, especially at this time when everything is getting ready to collapse? Your connection with the mother energy is what's going to keep you alive through the most difficult times. We do wish people would understand this more.
Well, it's been so orchestrated and it's been executed to such a high degree. It's just reflex that people always think of God as father and not as mother. And then again, the ones that are referred to in the Bible and from the Quran, they're not source. That's the thing. It's not source in the first place.
We do feel anyone who chooses to open up to this information has the ability to spread the truth and help other people understand the truth, to help your species evolve and come into alignment for everything that is to come. It does look like there are upticks on the planet. This is not entirely natural. This is encouraged by your controllers through their technologies, trying to create more destruction for your planet, as they are creating more chaos with these nonsense rules of wearing a mask and you must have this done to your body and you must have that done to your body. We do get frustrated up here watching the human race. However, it is more of like a parent's frustration with their child, because we love no matter what. At times, though, we also get frustrated.
Yes, and La Palma is still going off. Kilauea has started as well. It seems that they are, ramping up and trying to create these nightmare scenarios, or at least create the semblance that these nightmare scenarios are coming through, so as to create more fear.
We want to share with you what we have learned when dealing with entities that want to create fear. It does help to move within your heart. Look at your own body, look at your own soul, look at your own life. Find out, where are your feet planted? Are you grounded? Are you paying attention to what you need? Or are you looking external to try to change things? When things get this difficult, it is most advantageous to go within and sit. Sit with your fears, sit with your anxieties, sit with yourself until all of this passes. This is how we integrate. It is not good, it is not bad. It is how we love ourselves, and it is how we learn about ourselves. When you understand the self, at that point, you can look around you and see what is still affecting you. Is there anything that can be done? Do you want to do anything? But it starts with the self in this age of evolution. It starts within.
We've had questions about Nibiru and Planet X, and just to bring it up to you, from my understanding, Nibiru is a fourth density planet, so it's always out there on fourth density. I would think as the Earth is changing its destinies and densities and rising upwards at some point, it will appear visible to Earth, though that may not be in the immediate future.
It most likely will not be in this lifetime. Evolution is very slow, even though now it might feel as though it's speeding up. It still will not be in your lifetime. These are some energies that have little effect on your own planet. There is nothing to acknowledge at this time with Nibiru. There will be a time and you will have understanding, but now is not that time.
So yeah, I know there are many that believe that Nibiru is what's causing all these Earth changes, and in a sense, the people, the beings from Nibiru and their system, the Anunnaki, the Gigi, and then the secret society ran elites. Yeah, with their technologies, most definitely they are affecting the Earth changes, but it's not the gravitational pull of Nibiru that's causing these things.
This is correct. This is the entities creating the technology that is keeping you from going within, the technology that is keeping you from understanding yourself and from being a more whole human being at your core. When things get this chaotic, you do have the power within you to take back control, to slow the timelines, to change the timelines. This channel is getting weak.
Let me see if I could run a little bit more energy in just to get one more question in. Many people are expecting a rapture and or a mass ascension event. Are these things, is there a basis in fact for these things in the near future?
The remembrance of these things is in your DNA memory. It is very frightening for many people to see and understand what has happened before, how you were simply just taken up from the place where you were. These are now, in this life, just stories. This is not going to happen again in your lifetime. Not with these events that are happening currently. They have happened in the past. They have created a lot of anguish, a lot of fear, and a lot of trauma. And this will no longer serve you. It is okay to let it go.
So Ascension we should be looking at as a personal experience. As the Earth is going up through its vibration, each individual is also increasing their vibration, but Ascension happens one person at a time, just kind of like the second coming of Christ within each heart, one at a time.
This is correct. This channel needs to be released.
Thank you, Laurel. Much love. Namaste.
Namaste.
So that was Laurel, and again, that's from the Galactic Fed and Pleiadian High Council.
And if we're too open about it, again, we have to be cryptic with everything. I don't know how many times we've done one of these channelings and they've done something to the video to make it difficult for people to watch. Or so, yeah. So we're still cryptic when we say that word too. And thanks you guys for hanging in there and understanding and rolling with us. We're just trying to get this information out as safely as possible.
And we've actually done hundreds of channelings now. Sometimes the wording that comes through is such, and it's in so many different spots that we can't necessarily publish it as is, direct like that, but we can relay the info, which we will. And again, now we'll go up on some different places and we'll be able to speak a little clearer, more plainly. So yes, evolution is speeding up. And again, they always give us our choices. As I said a million times, like, well, if you're not a capitalist, you must be a communist, right? If you don't believe God created us, then you must be an evolutionist. But then they gave us Darwinian evolution, which is not exactly the right version. But then again, he was in the secret societies as well, third degree Mason. They have all the bases covered. They always give us the options. They always, they're like that salesman that's going to always say, which one do you prefer? Should I write up this on the left or that on the right? Neither. Neither. That's the correct answer, is none of the above. But then at the same time, like when we're talking about different types of beings, and we've said a million times again, yes, there are extraterrestrials, and there are what you would call interdimensional beings. Yes, there are what you would call demons, and you do have angels as well. There's all of the above. Doesn't mean because one exists that nothing else does exist, but that's the kind of conditioning we get. And we have to break through that conditioning because it keeps us running nowhere, absolutely nowhere, getting nowhere. There's a lot of interesting things that came through that, and much that has to be gone into much, much greater depth with. And I thought one of the things that probably is going to catch people's ears and minds was when we're talking about the rapture and we're talking about a mass ascension event, she talked in terms of the past and it being traumatic. And, Cindy can attest that there's certain places and certain situations that almost drive me into panic attack. And it's because of past life memory and remembering what happened in those times that she's alluding to. And these times are talked about in a lot of the Hindu epics, like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, for instance, and in other books as well, the Puranas. They talk about just these horrible wars that went on. Wars in which 5,000 years ago, over 1 billion people perished. Our history is complete BS. And timelines are totally distorted. Everything is so distorted, so twisted. We've discovered little things like, the evidence of mud floods that really get your head scratching. How about the maps that show the ocean going all the way into, around Vegas and stuff? And yet, Cindy and I, we have a small piece of desert over there. Mm-hmm. And we found sponges on it, and shells, and coral. And if you told me that it was a couple hundred years old, I'd believe it. Maybe 300-400 years old. Not millions of years. Hell no. Yeah, this world has been done and redone many, many times.
Yeah.
Tons of cataclysms.
Tons. You know, I remember in that desert when we were out there, you could actually still smell the ocean water.
Yeah, you could actually smell the salt. It was palpable. And I kept getting visions. I know there's a few of you over in that way that know what it looks like when you leave Pahrump, Nevada, and you're heading back out to 95. Every time I go around that corner, I'd get a vision of it's all filled up like an ocean or a gigantic inland lake, but it leads to the sea. And I don't feel that was all that long ago. So again, everything is twisted. The Kali Yuga, I do believe, started about 5,000 years ago, and that's what we got from the Galactic. So I do believe that the guru of Yogananda, Sri Yugatswar, is right, and assuming what we get from the dating of the Mahabharata and when Krishna left, which was about 3102, 3104 BC. 5,100 years ago, that was really the beginning of this dark age. And we're going to go much more detail into that. I think that so much of what you see always that is assumed to be natural is not at all. Completely. I think it's really done through the use of technologies. I think, again, if we were in tune with the earth, if we really were connected to Mother Earth, and I've felt her heartbeat through my foot chakras, standing there doing standing meditation in the woods, and it's blissful to actually feel the heartbeat of the earth. It's an amazing experience. If we were connected to her like that, en masse, if most of us were connected like that, we would get through the periods of great earth changes just fine. We'd know where to migrate to, when to leave one area, go to another.
Right, just like the animals know to, get to high ground when something is about to change. We would, if we were grounded that often, we would feel the pulses of the earth, and we would know where to go, and we could even psychically talk to each other. And all of that has been taken away. It's been stripped from us, which is dangerous because that leaves us extremely vulnerable. But don't think they didn't know that.
Yeah, so, we might look at it and say, well, we gained intellect and the animals have that intuitive side. It's just part of evolution. You're going to lose that. No, you're not. What it is it's the fluoride in the water. It's the system all around us. It's the GMO foods. It's all the frequencies. They are the ones that have done that to us to take away those abilities. And it's been completely orchestrated. And it's also, the mindset that looking at a tarot card to get an inspiration, to trigger your intuition, is evil and of the devil. When people are actually listening to beings that in reality are demonic, so to speak, most definitely satanic, in that they are not, well, they are our adversaries. They're not benevolent beings. They're the ones that are telling us to don't develop your intuition. This is again why they burnt the witches. This is why they've destroyed all the indigenous shamanic cultures around the world, because they were destroying the original people that were here before the invasion of the Ngiji and the Anunnaki. And we've gotten also that when we look to Ramayana, for instance, Ravenna is the main bad guy, and he kidnaps Rama's love, Sita. Well, he's basically, he was one of these pirates, these galactic pirates that came in, and they talk all about their flying ships. It's just given. It's a given. These are beings that the people that were here looked up in the sky, saw these ships, and said, well, that's what that guy is. They have more advanced technology than we do. They understand certain things we don't understand. As we go through the yugas, when we're in the Satya Yuga, we are in 5D. And then as we fall, as we descend, we go through 4D. So when you're looking at, say, the Silver Age, the Treta Yuga, you could view that as descending down into the upper end of 4D. And then we keep going on down to the Bronze Age, and there we're in like the middle echelon of 4D, heading towards 3D, where we end up in the Kali Yuga, basically 3D. So again, humans and angels, what's the difference? Well, it's just where they are, because ultimately everything is consciousness. Humans can be angels as far as the soul that goes on, the eternal side of us, the Atman, so to speak, or the eternal soul, however you want to use the terminology. Sure, because we've seen many humans in training to be angels.
Oh, absolutely. They do come down and they watch humans before they actually come to the earth. They watch to see how humans react to certain things. It gives them a better idea to how to go about their life when they do come down here and volunteer. This is something I think is fairly new because I never noticed that before, that angels actually do come and watch us just for the purpose of incarnating here and being here and helping others, uplift themselves. I think a lot of starseeds came here and actually got severely traumatized because they didn't understand how hard this might be for them. So they've changed things a little bit and letting them get a view of what it's like here before they actually incarnate. So that's, I feel, been really helpful.
And when she says, fairly new, in watching us, meaning
Watching us, right.
Cindy and Mike here, watching us, because, obviously from the other side, these beings that we call spirit guides, many people take them to be angels. And again, it's all labels. They're consciousness. They're what we would call, a soul. And, we wear various clothing at times. And that's all the body is just a 3D vehicle for, this particular density. Because, we are eternal and consciousness is eternal. So it's just a matter of, what density it's going to find itself in. So we got in that video too, in that conversation, that you don't have to worry about Nibiru causing cataclysm on Earth from the gravitational standpoint. The system that we have in place, yes, because that is a system that comes from Nibiru via the Anunnaki and the Gigi and all their minions that are here helping that situation on that side of things. But yeah, we don't have to worry about it causing cataclysm. And of course, everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, so, there are some that will still believe that. That's fine. We're just sharing what we're getting from the G-Fed and, giving you, again, what they are giving us from 5D perspective, looking at everything happening on the earth below. And so, again, many are hoping to be raptured out. And this is part of what they do. They always have us looking forward. And this got me thinking of Eckhart Tolle. Welcome to the present moment, right? Be here now. This is the only moment there ever is. If we're putting all our focus and attention and stock on getting raptured, and we're gonna meet the Lord up in the clouds and everything's gonna be perfect, then we're not here now. We're here now for a reason. And again, if we're constantly looking forward or looking back, we're missing the point of existence.
Mm-hmm. We are. So we have to learn to sit in the now. And it's not easy because they've conditioned us to always be in the worry, be in the unknown.
And we have been traumatized. There is evidence of NUKE wars, and they're documented again in some of the scripts, scriptures. They are definitely documented in the stories of the past. So yeah, we are a species with amnesia. That was one of the first video titles of one of the first videos I did. And we are a traumatized species, and that trauma keeps us stuck in the loop that is basically one that's intentionally set up. Barbara Handclough, years ago, 20, 30 years ago, wrote a book called Catastrophobia. And in it, she came to the conclusion of what Laurel basically told us now, is that, you know, we're traumatized, and we keep remembering what happened in the past. And just like somebody that's a victim of abuse, we're, you know, covering up and getting ready. We're flinching because we think it's going to happen again. Then when they know that, and they've done this countless cycles of the yugas, they just run the same script again. They might change it a little bit here and there, but you know, they give us the same prophecies. Basically, they give us the same cast of characters. They might season it a little bit different. How many of you guys have seen the show Westworld?
Oh my gosh, when I saw that triggered so many things. It was insane.
Yeah, you know, because the robots, the androids, however you want to call them, they don't realize they're not human. They think they're human. They think they're totally human. And they think that the story is real. And this, you know, of course, they believe it's coming from the creator.
The gods.
Yes, the gods, and you know, this is coming from God. And
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the writer that wrote the script, and you're living it. And so, you know, basically, the script that we're living here was written by an EGG. And there's still one EGG, original EGG, alive on the planet. Only one. There was 3 not too long ago. 2 are no longer with us. And that's something I've been meaning to share with you guys. There's only one of the original ones left. And if you want to know what they're like, you know, kind of look like Darth Sidious. And again, they give us these truths in the movies about what it really kind of is like. And yeah, that being does have a lot of nasty power and can totally override people's minds.
Yeah, a lot of mind power. A lot of mind power to manipulate people to get them to react in a certain way.
And most definitely that being looks at us as insignificant in a way, but is also realizing very, very well that at some point we're going to be way above it.
Yep.
And places that it can't go because it's just stuck.
Well, they understand the nature of our ability to ascend and how close we can get to source, and that's something that they just don't have. They have limited, and we are unlimited if we just learn how to tap into that and understand our own unlimitation, and that's what they're trying to prevent.
So, and again, ascension is a personal experience. Yes, the vibrations of the planet as a whole are raising upwards. If there wasn't a concerted effort to lower the vibrations and to get people to do things to lower their own vibrations, then upon the next incarnation, yeah, most people would be going on to a 5th density existence. And, you know, when we say that, we mean shedding the body in the normal way. There are, and there always have been, people that actually, and it's extremely rare, transcend and ascend without physical death, although the body always changes. So, you know, that is still a possibility on an individual basis. But as far as that happening in mass in a couple of years or a decade, it's not going to happen in that way is what we're getting. As far as like touching base, there's so many things I wanted to touch base on. Just to reiterate, the big solar flash that many have talked of. I know Ben at Suspicious Observers has talked about it. I think Corey Good has talked about it. I know Diehold Foundation's talked about it. Diehold has talked about it being an event that would basically obliterate half of the planet, we don't see that happening. The Galactics don't give that happening. They do see a major solar flash that will have the potential to turn us totally back to the Dark Ages, which would be a big blessing in reality, to shed all of this technology. But that's still quite a ways off. That's still probably looking likely the mid-2040s for when that will happen. And at that point, the technology grid will be gone. So, again, that will also probably give us all amnesia again, too.
Right.
Because that does happen with the magnetic pole reversals and the influx of cosmic rays. So, I just wanted to update you guys on that. Was there anything else you thought we had to touch on?
Not today. I feel pretty content. I feel we got the message out as requested, and I feel people are going to be making good use of it.
Yes. So, if you want to boil it down to what is the biggest concern, it's the system, without a doubt. By a mile, it's the system. There's nothing else that comes close. As far as, if you took one thing out of the equation and you could turn Earth to heaven, it's just basically the system not being here, and everything would change. So that is the greatest threat to humanity.
Yes.
That truly, it's not anything else. It's not Planet X, Nibiru. It's not the solar flash, and everything. It's really, the system itself. That is the biggest thing. And again, where does your power lie? In getting in touch with yourself, your higher self. And again, a daily spiritual practice is the way to start. And get connected. Yoga, meditation, Qigong, all these things are really imperatives, because we have to develop our consciousness and we have to develop that connection to our higher self and really get to know, who am I?
Absolutely. And it's just so important to reconnect with the mother energy, reconnect with your heart. Just keep trying. Everybody's different on how they wish to connect. Explore, check things out, and don't be afraid to explore. Go ahead, look outside the box, because this is a journey of discovery. It's a beautiful journey of discovery.
It is. So as always, we want to thank everybody over there that's supporting us on Patreon, and everybody that's checked out Medicinal Foods. Lots of great products. Make sure to use coupon code EEA for an extra 5% off your order. As always, guys, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.